Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Joyce, the art baby, and this week I wanted to practice a little bit of my portrait painting skills. The last time I tried to do this, I miserably failed, so I felt like this time I needed to do something to get better at painting and practice a little bit more. So I decided to grab my Himi Gouache set and get into painting. And this time I had a couple of things that I did differently. For example, I printed something. I have seen so many artists that they have their reference printed out to just go and quickly look at it, and I felt like this was such a good thing. You will not see it in my speed painting, but I had the picture right next to me most of the time whenever I had a question about what I was doing or if I was doing something wrong. I could just simply look at the painting of and the picture at the same time, so I knew what I was doing. I could color match things that I wanted to color match, and in the drawing it was easier to just have a more accurate drawing with a printed picture. So in this time I felt more confident as well, having been painting constantly for the past few weeks. I felt like I knew what I was doing. I had a better process than the first time that I tried to do a portrait with gouache, and this time I was able to already have a more set routine of what I was going to do. So the first thing is that I painted everything one color, and that was yellow. I felt like the picture that I took as reference had a lot of yellow, so I needed to work with that because I didn't want things looking too dead and dull. So after that I started placing the colors, kind of having an idea of what the colors were going to look like and where they were going to be. And then I felt very bold and I decided to just go straight into it with the gray, and I decided to just paint everything that was gray and that dark color, and I just placed it everywhere in the painting that it should be. And then I have seen a lot of artists starting with the darkest color, and that helps them out to kind of judge if I had the darkest color right away, I could also see the lighter color and what the colors should be like. And I honestly, now that I look back at it, I feel like it's a very smart way to paint, because you have already the lightest color whenever you paint something over everything in the paper and it's already tinted. But then going with the darkest color, now that makes you be a better judge of where the color should be for the rest of the painting. Another thing that I tried to make sure was to have a really good sketch before I went in, especially when you're going with a person and whenever you recognize it, make it recognizable. So I felt like the sketch needed to be really good for me to be able to remember how he was going to look like. So I drew him several times in my own sketchbook, and when I did this, I really paid attention to where the shadows were and the colors that were the most saturated. So whenever I painted, I had already done it so many times, where I had drawn him, and I by this time knew what I needed to emphasize or where the shadows were going to be. So I really tried to put a lot of care on that to make sure that the shadows were in the right place. I think that's what makes a painting look pretty. And at the same time, I was feeling that I like leaning more into a more graphic style and not very realistic, and making it look more like a cartoon of him. And I feel like when I decided that I was going to do that, I was able to let go a little bit of expectations of making it look perfect, and I was just making him in my own style. So I feel like that actually was really good for me. I really enjoyed that part of the painting process, seeing it come to life with line art. I really loved it. So when I was finishing with the painting, I decided to put the background color as I had been doing for the last few paintings, and this is when things started going wrong, I think. And I feel like the color that I mixed was a little too dark, and it was really close to the shadows on his skin, like the color that I had picked, and it did not look good. So I waited up until the next day for it to dry, so I was able to grab the color again and mix a lighter one, and I painted it again. But I keep from forgetting that gouache dries darker, and I think by now I know which one in my Himi Gouache set is the one that tends to dry the darkest. So I think I'm going to be having that in mind whenever I paint with that color. But whenever the light came out again and the next day I was able to mix it, I feel like I was happier, and I went a little bit more to the color yellow as we did have in the beginning, and I really liked it. I think I love the final painting, and I'm more confident now on being able to do a portrait. So probably next time I'm going to try to do a portrait. I don't know. So this is everything for today's video. I hope you liked it, and leave a like and a comment. Anyways, I hope to see you in a different video. Bye!